Hey everybody, my name is Gary Bittner and welcome to Training for Champions. And hopefully I can give you some pointers today and help you out a little bit. I've been with Primerica for 25 plus years and I've seen a lot and been around, and I'm really excited to share some information with you here today. And one of the things I want to talk about are to people that want to go full-time or who already are full-time or RVPs out there, about really how to get big and what your focus needs to be. I've seen a lot of vice presidents that still right now are kind of playing with a win, play not to lose kind of a mindset. And one of the things that's really big for me in watching people become big is having a good front office, a staff, an assistant, a full-time assistant, someone that can help you with phone calls, your client inquiries, help you with processing paperwork, et cetera, et cetera. I've seen a lot of RVPs that do that themselves, and it kind of bogs them down from going out there and doing what they're supposed to do, which is out there recruiting and field training and meeting new people. And I think it's such an important thing. And I know, the big concern for a newer RVP or someone that's an RVP right now is sometimes there's an expense obviously involved with hiring an assistant or training somebody. But guys, in our business, it is a business at the end of the day, and you do have to spend money to make money. And I've seen so much of people just kind of plateauing just because of that little thing. Another important thing to me is, eventually you venturing out and getting your own office, getting your own location, having your own op meeting, really just becoming, independent and responsible. And, again, it's uncomfortable in the beginning. You feel like a fish out of water, but guys, that kind of pressures you, points you in the direction of growth. You have to fill up your op meeting. You have to do your own Saturday training. You have your people inviting people, and you start developing relationships with your key members. And really, one of the things I guess that I've been blessed with since I've started in Primerica is that every time I meet somebody at the kitchen table, or if I have an interview with them or whatever, and they're interested in the business, I really 100% look at them as a future vice president. And that's one of the blessings I have. I see that not happening with some people out there, is that they don't necessarily ever see that person becoming a VP. And so the language, the way you talk to your people, showing them the future possibilities that exist out there for them, helping them with their market list, taking them out, field training those guys, getting referrals for them, just showing them why their market really is not necessarily the end. It's who they know, and just continuing that on. And really, we recruit people, we bring them into our business, and sometimes they don't have a business background. They need to be taught that. And they need to go somewhere, and your training and your environment and your language to them teaches them how to run a business eventually. So it's really, really important with your new people that you do sell them the bigger vision. One of the things that's really important is if you're already an RVP, thinking about promoting other RVPs. RVP is not the final destination. RVP is just really the beginning. When you become an RVP, now you're able to promote other RVPs and start becoming an SVP and an NSD and an SNSD, et cetera. Really, that's the big vision. And if people maybe come into your office and you're an RVP right now, and you haven't promoted any RVPs, sometimes they may not say it, but in the back of their mind they may wonder, how come this guy's been an RVP for 5 years or 10 years and he doesn't have any RVPs? So, guys, thinking big and helping people, get to that next level requires a big commitment on your part. It requires you helping that regional leader or whoever it is, getting to that next level. And getting them to understand truly Primerica is not a job. It's not a 9-to-5. It's a business, and it requires a business mindset. You can't come here with an employee mindset and try to grow a business. So, we teach Business 101, and we need to, pass that business teaching on to our new guys. And, if you keep just placing these building blocks day after day, week after week, in your business, eventually you're going to become an SVP and an NSD, and the incomes are going to follow you. So do your best to go out there and make that happen. Have that big mindset. Don't be afraid to spend money on office managers and assistants and things like that, guys. It's not that's gonna pay you back tenfold in my experience. It's just been the way to go, and it frees you up, like I said earlier. I've got some some pointers right now too that I've noticed. I've got 8 points that actually will tear your team apart. Okay, so these are 8 things on not to do or that destroy teams. One of them is that I've seen is that some RVPs have no clear, consistent standards. Okay, so having your promotional guidelines written up on a wall somewhere is really good, and abiding by those standards and making sure everybody don't have any double standards, making sure everybody gets promoted the same way. That's really important. Number 2 thing I've seen that destroys your team is lack of trust. Okay, so if one of your downline, for whatever reason there's a trust issue, that can be a big breakdown. That can cause you to big slowdown in your business. Number 3 is drama. You guys, you want to stay out of that gossiping type of business, talking about other people, et cetera, et cetera. You got to stay focused as a leader, keeping that big picture going. Number 4 is lack of accountability, guys. Holding your people accountable is not a bad thing. If you don't hold them accountable to standards and to production, et cetera, you're just really going to hurt those guys. So obviously it's a two-way street. You want to make it a volunteer type of thing, but I've noticed that people that are accountable, do more business and they get promoted. Number 5, poor commitment. Guys, as a leader, you can't have a bad day. There's two people on any team that can't have a bad day. One of them's a head coach, and then of course the team leaders or the captains, right? So make sure you have a really good commitment. You're showing up to the opportunity meeting. You're coming to Saturday training. You're doing breakfast club. You're doing your other training. You're always there. You got to be there early. These are fundamental things that you need to have. Number 6 is selfishness. Thinking short-term, doing short-term, making short-term decisions that benefit you rather than your team. As an upline, as a leader, doesn't matter if you're an RVP or not. Sometimes you're going to have to eat it, and just stay focused on helping your downline. You're going to get it back, tenfold. But make sure you always do what's best for your team. Put the spotlight back down on your team again, guys, and things are going to happen for you. Number 7 is lack of discipline. Okay, so again, showing up late for meetings or not showing up at all. This is more true for some RVPs that have been around for a little while, where you've kind of plateaued a little bit, guys. You got to get that discipline where you got to start being there first and doing things first, and if you want to make your business grow. And the last point is success achieved without integrity. There are ways that you can get promoted, and but guys, it's not necessarily the right thing to do, guys. You got to keep those standards straight. Make sure every promotion is integrous, and just stay focused on that. So, listen, I want to thank you for your time here today. I hope that helps a little bit, and have a great day.
Is studying for your securities exam a bit overwhelming? Then get the help you need with Securities Exam Prep on the Training and Development tab on POL. Click the link to find a collection of study guide videos presented by Securities Training Manager David Castellon. You'll find helpful information to study and pass the Series 6, the 63, and 26, plus a great overview of how to take the exam. Use Securities Exam Prep on the Training and Development page on POL and pass that exam.
Hello, my name is Deborah Phillips. Welcome to the show. Well, we all think about building a base shop. I want to talk to you about growing a base shop, because ultimately everybody in Primerica at some point want to develop regional vice presidents, but regional vice presidents come from the base shop. These are some tips that can help you do that. And the first tip that I'd like to tell you is so important, is to be positive. You got to always be positive to have that growing base shop. When you go into the room, you want to be the person to light up the room. You don't want to bring the room down. So always being positive is so important. And if you have a partner, you want to show a great partnership, because guess what? People are always watching you. You may not realize it, but the people that you recruit into the business, they're always watching you. So you want to portray a good partnership. Even if you and your partner just had a big fight and you walk into the office, you want to walk in with a big smile. You don't need to portray that to your base shop. So you always want to have and portray a great partnership. The next thing you want to do is you want to have goals. Set goals, and I encourage you to not just set goals with your partner, but set goals with your family. We have 2 of our 4 daughters in business with us, and we sat together around a table and we set goals together. And not only just the 2 that are in business, the 2 that are not in business with us, but they're part of the business. They're part of those goals as well. So what we do is we set goals and everybody buy into it. So that way everybody has ownership in the family reaching our goals through Primerica. So you know what they say, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So you gotta have the goals and you gotta have a plan to make those goals a reality. The next thing I'd like to talk to you about is making sure that you sell totally out to recruiting. Sometimes that's kind of hard. You know, when you go into a household, you want to just go for the sale. But if you sell out to recruiting and you talk to that family about recruiting, you'll always get the sale. That may not come that night, but you will get the sale, but you'll get eternal sales. It will come, you know, on and on and on through that person being in the business and the people that they touch and the people that they touch. It can be endless. So always sell out to recruiting. The next thing is you need to make sure that you are always communicating with your base shop. To grow as a base shop, you have to communicate as a base shop. The next thing I'd like to talk to you about is making sure that you build relationships with the people in your base shop. Building relationships is so important. You can do that in so many different ways. We have dinners, we have holiday parties, we have swimming parties. We do all kinds of things. We have potlucks. We have Breakfast for Champion in our office once a month, and that in the Breakfast for Champions, everybody bring their favorite breakfast dish on a Saturday morning, and we all eat together, we all fellowship, and then we go about the business of training. So Breakfast for Champions is really good. We have something else called SWAT, and with SWAT, it's basically a name that we use to train our new and upcoming people that just joined the business through orientation. You know, it's orientation, but really it's a fancy way so that it kind of would grab people's attention. We have all different kinds of things, Super Bowl parties, and we got Super Bowl, you know, coming up, and so that's a way that we have people engaged, because a lot of people are excited about Super Bowl. They're excited about who's going to win, so we all get together and we have a Super Bowl party. And always remember to include the partners. That's so important, because I know it's very hard to depend on the agent to go back and tell the partners everything they need to know about what's going on. I know even for myself, my husband sometimes forget to tell me things, and that's just the real deal, because they're doing so many different things. You know, they're trying to build a business, they're seeing clients, all kinds of things, so they might forget to tell them. So you want to make sure you include the partners so that they'll know firsthand what's going on. Always run contests. Even if you feel like you're not in a position to run a big contest, then run a small contest. It could be a contest to go, you know, to Red Lobster or whatever. It could be something where you might spend $25 or maybe a Starbucks card for $10 or $15. But run contests. People, you know, sometimes they'll do it for a contest when they won't do it for a check. It's crazy to me, but that's just how it is. Always have something, that carrot that you're dangling out in front of people, so that they can always have something to go for. The next thing is always teach your people, if you're growing a base shop, the importance, the dire importance of plugging in. You need to plug in. It's just like, you know, we got this really big fancy TV. It's that black piano, you know, finish. It's so nice, man. I love that TV. But guess what? That TV is of no use to me if it's not plugged in. It has absolutely no electricity. So if you got a new recruit that's not plugged in, they're not getting the power. And so you want them to have the power to have some success in Primerica. Just like that TV has to be plugged in to get the juice, your new recruits have to do the same. So make sure that you impress upon your new people the importance of plugging in. And especially to big events. We have big events coming up. What events should they miss? They shouldn't miss any events. Every event is important as the last one. Promote the company contest. Always promote the company contest. If you promote the company contest, that's going to help build your base shop. You know, the company always has something going on every month. We have contests, contest trips. They have other things going on where you can get bonuses even below the RVP level. No matter what's going on, you got to be plugged in to what the company is doing so you can make sure that your new people are plugged in, and so that you can really, I tell people that you need to be the Don King of your organization. You know, Don King, the guy, you may not have the big hair and all, but you want to make sure that you promote everything that the company is doing, just like a Don King. And for you young people that don't know who Don King is, and you know, maybe go ask your parents. But you want to make sure that you promote everything so you can take advantage of growing your base shop. Okay, and another way that you can grow your base shop is make sure you go back and touch your clients. We call it mining the gold in the walls because, you know, people's lives are dynamic. They're constantly changing. They may have lost a job, or they may have lost a family member. They may have gotten a divorce. They may have had a new child. There are so many things that could have changed in their lives since the last time you spoke with them. But when you call them back, that's a source of new referrals. They may be interested now in the business because timing is everything. They may not have been interested before. They might now need new additional insurance, or they might have lost a job. They need to roll over their monies from their last job. You just never know what you can gain from talking back to your old clients. So make sure that you keep touch by calling them or maybe sending them notes. You always want them to remember you, remember your name when they need something in terms of financial services. And the last thing I like to say is you gotta love people. You've got to love people. That's something you can't fake. You can't put it on. You got to love people. And when you love people, you gotta put people first. Always put them first, and sell out to massive recruiting. You gotta totally sell out, and you gotta talk about it 100% of the time, and that's how you will grow your base shop.
Hey everybody, there's more coming up on Training for Champions.
Plug into Primerica now for the ultimate business support system.
Get connected.
Get the latest company updates.
Make sure all your teammates are using the resources and tools to grow.
Opt in.
Receive important text alerts.
Always be in the know.
Connect on your phone, computer, tablet, anywhere.
Subscribe.
97% of the cash to the field
is paid to reps that subscribe to POL.
It's more important than ever to be plugged in.
Participate.
Tune in to PFN TV every week.
When your new recruits are connected, there's no limit to what they can do.
Use the app.
It's the future of your success.
To make 2017 the best year, make sure you use the best tools.
It's up to you.
Get connected.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Jason Ortiz, Regional Vice President here in Tampa, Florida. I'm second generation to the awesome, incredible National Sales Directors, Ed and Yvonne Ortiz. And, you know, being a part of this business for the last 25 years, we started as child writers when I was 7 years old. I'm going to be talking about leadership today, and our concept of leadership growing up in this business was always maybe something different than a lot of you guys out there, but these are some really amazing points that have helped us along the way in growing this business, not only as a second generation, but as a young man whose market was totally saturated by his parents. So we look here. The first point I want to bring up to you guys is learning. We always got to be learning as we grow in this business. See, I heard something a long time ago. Leaders are readers, right? We hear the concept in this business that we should always be closing, but the same thing goes is we always got to be learning as well, right? I think learning is a lifelong endeavor, and it shouldn't end at the ages of 18 or 22. See, there's a recent survey that they surveyed a bunch of millennials in the job market, right? And what they said was the number one thing that they benefited, that they thought was a biggest benefit from their companies was training and development. as we go along the business, there's only two types of appointments we can ever be on. There's appointments that you learn from, and there's appointments that you make money from. So there's never a bad appointment. I think that was a big point for us when I was growing up in this business, is that there's never such thing as a bad appointment. We just get better and we learn from them. Okay. The second point is that we always got to be excited, and we got to always strive for excellence. Okay. We hear Art Williams always tell us, hey, nobody wants to follow a disillusioned, frustrated, daggone crybaby. And I think that's the way it is in our business. You know, people, I think leaders in our business, they get really good at forecasting the future and inspiring hope to their people. And so it's an intangible that not a lot of people talk about, but I think it's extremely important in our business. So be excellent when nobody's looking, and there's never a shortcut in Primerica. The best shortcut in Primerica as doing it is doing it the right way the first time. Okay. The third point is activity. We always got to have activity in this business. We have a formula here that we follow all the time: 16, 8, 5, 3, 1. Or we hear of 8, 5, 3, 1 all the time. We always like to add the 16 on the front because, you know, 8 appointments, 5 of them will do F&As, 3 actually will close, and 1 will get a recruit. So if we look at this, in order to actually be on 8 qualified kitchen table appointments, we actually have to set up 16, because the reality of it is they'll either cancel or reschedule half of them. So the idea is to get about 16 appointments, okay? By having activity, it's going to do some amazing things for you. If you don't, see, the good thing about this business is that no matter where you are in this business, where you have a lot of activity, or if you have no activity whatsoever, you can always create momentum. I learned this from one of my mentors, Jake Fruget. He said, look, when I was at a point where we didn't have a lot of activity going on, and he told us, hey, listen, what you need to be doing is you just look at focusing on 10 prospects on a daily basis for the next 14 days, and then the next 14 days after, just focusing on getting 5 more a day. If you think about that, that's 210 contacts that are coming into your pipeline every single month. That's going to create some activity. And then our goal at that point, with those 210 contacts, we would focus in. My goal was intently to try to schedule 20 appointments in a rolling 7-day period. So the day that I had appointments, I would focus in on those appointments. Whatever was falling off, my whole goal that day, whatever would fall off on those appointments, I would focus in on replacing and replenishing the activity for the next day. Okay, so what it allows you to do is it allows 3 things for your business. It allows you to stay relevant as a leader, so that people look up to you. You look at anybody in our business, for a period of time, they would focus in on 2 to 3 years where they would focus really hard, where they were in the trenches with their people. Okay, nobody's going to follow somebody who's just going to point and say, hey, you do this, you that. Where they were, okay? And it's going to give you an opportunity to master your craft, because the more times you do appointments, the more times you do presentation, they would allow you to get better. And as time goes on, you become a master at your presentation, at a winning presentation. And finally, what it really did for us, and it really did for me, is that it gave me confidence. Because if I knew how to give a great presentation, and it allowed us to overcome simple objections with the help of training and development, with the help of training for champions, with the help of just going over and over and over the same presentations, it allowed us to get really good at that, okay? One thing I always ask myself in terms of activity, I would always ask myself 2 questions. Look, if everybody did what you did last month, what would your business look like? Right? So think about that, right? If everybody did what you did and it would cause an explosion, they would cause an explosion around the business, right? But if they would do everything you did and nothing really would happen, we need to kind of reevaluate our activity, right? And we always have, I have in my office on the big dry erase board, we have a question. Look, is the team stronger because you're on where they were? Is the team stronger because you're on the team? Or does the team have to be stronger because where they were before? Okay. The 4th point is duplication. All right. We have to have duplication, We got to keep our systems simple so that people can follow these systems. We keep it consistent, right? We hear that saying, keep it simple, silly, right? That's something that's really important. And by having a duplicatable a system, that would allow you to have interchangeable leadership. Okay, so if there are some times where you get an appointment where you have so much stuff going on, I promise you it's going to happen. There's going to come a point in time where you're not going to be able to go on all these appointments. Well, that's going to allow you to really kind of dish out some appointments. It's a win-win all the way across the board because they would allow a trainee to get trained. You could pass on a trainer an appointment, and it allowed a person for that trainee to get the same kind of presentation as if you were to give that presentation as well, all right? The fifth point is ego. We have to eat our ego for breakfast, right? This business, there are a lot of egos in this business, and it allowed us to kind of figure out where we are in this business and kind of grow by eating our ego. We may not like what our coaches say, what our uplines say, but they always have the best interest for ourselves. And so we got to be coachable, not chokeable, right? Stay humble, learn from your past mistakes, just adjust and reevaluate and keep moving forward, right? And then finally, the last point is relationships. All right. By allowed us to build big relationships with our team, what it allowed us to do is it connected our team emotionally and truly build really great relationships, right? Because in this business, it would allow us to have serious conversations with people, right? And allow us to grow them from the inside out. Right? Because there's sometimes that, Art Williams says, listen, winners want to be told what to do. And so it allowed us to tell them what it is that they need to be told and allowed us just to tell them what they'd like to hear, right? This will allow you to coach people and grow them from the inside out. And we hear the age-old saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? And so we reevaluate everything. We talk about learn. We talk about be excited, right? Strive for excellence, have activity, have a duplicatable system, eat your ego, and have relationships. Leader, that spells leader. That's going to be the biggest thing that's going to help you out in this business. And you're going to go through some phases in the business, right? Sometimes you're going to have the peaks, and then you're going to have the valleys, right? Think about it as the ups and downs in the business. Think about it as being in the valley. And if you implement these points, it would allow us to implement and grow as a person. While others fall by the wayside, you're going to emerge at the end as a successful leader. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate everything. I'm so proud to be your teammates, and it would allow us to grow as great leaders. Let's go do something big. Thank you.
Hey guys, wasn't that amazing? We had so many spectacular tips for you today. And here's my challenge for you is you don't just sit there and take notes, guys. You have to put it into action. I've been with Primerica for 25 years, and I never thought it would turn out this good, beyond my wildest dreams. Now you get up there and get out there and make something happen. We'll see you next time.